Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ben from Overland Garage, and today what we are going to be doing is installing injectors on a 2001 to 2004 and a half lb7 Duramax, and that's what's behind the curtain here. So like that, stay tuned. Here we go. So first things first, before we dive right into getting those injectors done, is I did go ahead and remove the old ones. So yes, I skipped a video and you guys missed out on uninstalling of the injectors, but they were bad, they were ugly, and it was not fun. Normally what's required for this job is to pull the cap. Now I, luckily for you guys and myself, was able to pull the cab because I was doing a different job. I was doing a crew cab swap. So this job is way easier. However, if the cab was in place, you can still do them, but it's very tricky because you got the firewall right up against here. So I'm gonna rip this cover off and I'll show you what we're working with. Now let's see what's behind door number 1. Oh, yummy. There she is. Let's take a walk. So, as you can see, I've already done this, taking apart of things and stuff, and the biggest problem with this job right here is all the junk right in the way. Like, why in the universe did GM have to put all this stuff in the way? And I don't know. But anyways, that aside, I did notice some other things that I'm going to need to take care of, like these hoses are all corroded, and this hose, so we're going to do that too. But first things first is we're going to have to get the old vacuum out here and vacuum all this stuff out so that, you know, we don't drop a bunch of dirt down inside the engine, which we've already kind of done. It's okay though. We're going to vacuum it out, clean it up as best as possible, spray it down, and then we'll move to installing the injectors. Here we go. Alright. It's got the old Milwaukee cordless vacuum. There, so now that we got the majority of this stuff cleaned up, all I need to do now is take the hold downs down for the injectors. We're going to spray all this down, wipe it up with some brake clean, clean this surface up, and then we'll throw the injectors in, and I'll show you the process for putting those in. And then, if we have time, we'll talk about what's next. to make sure that your paper towels are pretty good brand. You don't want to get some cheapo dollar store ones and then clean this all up and have a bunch of paper in there. So try to keep this as clean as possible. Because, you know, I don't want to do this job twice. Basically all I'm doing right now is getting all the big stuff so that, because I want to blow this down, I don't want to blow a bunch of dirt into the motor. I'm going to do an oil change anyways, but I don't want to have sand in the motor. Sand is not good for bearings. Ask me how I know. And don't be afraid to get another paper towel. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. By the way, if you haven't checked out the channel lately, check it out. We got some new videos up, and I think you'll like what we've got to offer, so don't be afraid to be a supporter of the channel. And obviously, like and subscribe, you know. Help a guy out, because we're building this channel and we need all the help we can get. Alright, so that's pretty clean. I'm going to take the keepers off for the injectors. We'll talk about what I got for injectors, and then clean the injector cups out. Then we'll throw the injectors in. So what I'm doing next is, going the wrong way here. What I'm doing next is I'm just going to take these keepers off. I try to keep them in order. It's not like they have to be, because they're all the same, but I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky, but I just like to keep everything in order if I can. That one. It's a terrible idea, leaving that there. There. Now we're going to clean this up, and then we'll throw the injectors in. So, what I got for injectors was these lb7 injectors from injectorsdirect.com, and these guys are super helpful. If you haven't checked their website out, go ahead and head over to the injectorsdirect.com and check their website out. They have thousands, I mean thousands of parts for lb7, I think Cummins, other Power Stroke diesel as well, basically all diesel stuff. But one thing I'll say that I was really happy with is their customer service. I talked to Cole over there at Injectors Direct, and he was super helpful with the eBay order. He was able to get my injectors shipped out. Yes, I did send back the cores first. I did the core option, so that saved me a ton of money, and he's a really great guy to deal with. So if you guys haven't checked it out, check them out. Also, check out the review video I'm doing on these injectors right now. It should be popping up right up in the top of the screen. and I think you'll be happy with their product. I was happy with their product, and I'm sure they're gonna perform great. So without that, we're gonna just throw these things in. I'll show you a couple of things you wanna do before you throw them in, and we'll get them done. Now the first thing before I install them is I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit of this Lucas oil stabilizer, just a dab on the O-ring, so that you know, because these things don't like to always go in that good. So put a little bit of grease on them. A little bit of grease never hurt anybody. Just slide them in. Zoom in for you. Get some. Hammer down. I would say that's a burnout competition next door. America. That's something you gotta be careful of. You gotta watch out for that crush washer. That thing likes to, you know, decide if it's gonna cooperate or not. Well, that's basically it. You just tap them very gently into place. Don't bang on them, but you can take the hold down very carefully. That in. Once you get the bolt in it, don't tighten it down immediately. You can tap on the hold down right here and a little bit right here, but do not hit this electrode, as you don't want to break any part of that, because you'll screw yourself and then you'll be buying new injectors. So that's probably too much. Yuck. Easy does it. Just right in here. Hear that? That's how you know it's seated. Second you hear that different change in tone, you know it's seated. So listen. Hear it? And that's all there is. Then you just torque them down. Now I'm sure you could do that with the hold down, but I didn't want to strip the threads out of this head doing that. So that's why I kind of tap them in. And just feel them, see if they're tight, which they are, and then we can tighten them down. And you're probably thinking, you're not done. And you're right, I still got to put the valve covers on. But the reason why I haven't done that, and the reason why I'm just doing this today, is because I have the valve covers off and I think I want to do a valve adjustment. So we're going to do this in two parts. Well, there guys, that's going to conclude today's episode, because like I was just mentioning, I want to do a valve adjustment, and I don't think I'm gonna have the time to do all of that and show you the entire process. So literally it's really simple. If you have the cab off and you have the valve covers off, take all the fuel rail and all that stuff apart, literally just pull the injectors out. Now a trick to pulling the injectors out I'll give you real quick is take an old fuel line and screw it on and hold on to it and use the kind of the pulling motion back and forth like this, and they'll pop out. If they don't do that, it gets a little trickier, but they all came out really easy for me. So the install process is pretty simple. Just put the tie down on it, put a little grease on it, tap it in really gently so you don't break anything and you don't disrupt that O-ring. The key is grease. And so yeah, this is all done for the day. I hope you guys enjoy the content. We're gonna do a 2-part series of this. We may do a valve adjustment. I'm gonna just check them. And then if we don't do a valve adjustment, we're going to throw the valve covers on, throw the fuel rails back on, and get this bad boy back on the road. So thanks for tuning in today. Give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and share our content. So thanks for tuning in to Overland Garage.